From the WATE.com Digital Center, answering your legal questions. This is Ask Isaacs. Now, here's Lori Tucker and attorney Greg Isaacs.
Also joined by Jeff McClain, who's our executive producer here at WATE 6 News. Always good to see you as well.
Good to see both of you.
We are talking about silly crimes with serious consequences, and if you have been with us over the last week or so, you know that we had a story about Vienna sausages and how they were allegedly used. All right, first of all, though, before we get any deeper into this, some say Vienna, some say Vienna. What do you say?
Yes, I think Vienna, I think that's the way to go, but, you know, to each their own.
All right, so that's how we will discuss this. So basically, we're talking about a former Jacksboro officer accused of vandalizing the home of the vice mayor. And apparently, according to the vice mayor, he woke up, he heard some loud thumps, a broken window, and there were cans of Vienna sausages outside the window. But there's more to this story.
There's more to the story, and you know, silly pranks and silly crimes are fascinating because of the consequences, the mindset. But
and who
this
the
one,
suspects are.
and who the suspects are. But everything about this is so bizarre. It's attracted national news. So let's kind of set the stage. So a Jacksboro deputy resigned. He's with three buddies. One's a current jailer, some other ex-law enforcement at a marina, having a few cocktails. Then on the way home, they get in a black van. So if you're going to commit a prank crime, you've got to be in a black van. And suddenly, Mr. Weaver stops at the Walmart. And then it gets the prank crime, the silly crime gets serious. So he goes in and procures 15 cans of Vienna, well, however you want to say it, sausages, and leaves. Now, we'll go back to Walmart in a few minutes.
Because the number of cans is very important here.
This prank crime doesn't add up.
Yes.
So then they go to the vice mayor's house, get out with their sausages, and start hurling them at the house, the home. Breaking two windows,
Which would lead to potentially them being in cans still. That's a point.
Yeah, they kept the
Yes,
weenies in the
they didn't
cans.
throw
Yeah,
the sausages. The cans.
So then the detective work begins. One of the officers on the scene recognizes the sausages as those sold exclusively at Walmart.
They're made by Libby's.
Libby's
Yes.
Vienna sausages. They go back to Walmart, check the camera, and find out that Weaver only paid for 7 cans of the sausages.
But got 15.
But got
Right.
15.
Okay, just underscoring that.
So you see this, the detective work is just, they're on top of it.
They have cameras at those checkouts, even
Yes,
if they don't.
They do.
Yeah.
So fast forward, what happens? Weaver colleagues get arrested. Some of them, I'm not sure if all of them did.
Some of them say they went back to the van.
Yeah, and so what happens is not only is Weaver charged with theft, shoplifting from Walmart, but also with vandalism, and the value of the windows was over $2,500. So it is a D felony,
Yes.
2 to 4 years.
That's serious
in jail.
stuff.
Right.
Now, Weaver, we want to point this out, had already resigned his position before this incident that he's alleged that he's
And
accused
we
of
don't know
took place.
the rationale there.
We don't know what it is, but we just wanted to
And we
point
wanna
that
say
out. He wasn't asked to resign after this. He'd already done that.
And he is accused. He is still
Yes.
innocent. Has not pled guilty, not been convicted. But these are the accusations that are a public record. So,
And the people with him have either resigned or have been outright fired.
well, there was one current officer, and that was someone that worked at the detention center of the jail, and he was terminated within the week.
Yeah. So already we talk about serious consequences. That's a pretty serious consequence, and beyond whatever legal issue. So Greg, let's go to the legal side of this. You mentioned that is a felony. How does and $2,500? That's what makes this a felony, correct?
It makes it a felony. And just remember, sometimes prank crimes, we talk about this on Halloween or whatever, it is economically value driven, and the vandalism statute tracks Tennessee's theft statute over $1,000, an E felony $2,500, a D felony, which is what we had here, 2 to 4 years.
Right, so one
in
level
jail.
above what a
Yeah,
basic
minimum.
felony.
So does stuff
So-
like this automatically, this happens, investigators come out, they determine the price value of the crime. Does this automatically go into the system, or would it be incumbent on the vice mayor, the alleged victim, to say, yes, I want to press charges, or could he say
It depends.
no?
You could do it one or two ways. The officers could have sworn out a warrant, the detectives, or it could be the vice mayor. But you know, this is really an interesting prank crime, because sometimes people think they're invisible. They think they're anonymous. You know, shoplifting's amazing to me, because people, you know, get caught shoplifting, you know, things that are of virtually no value. A screw, I've had people accused, you know, they needed just one bolt and screw that fit this particular thing, and they just wanted that one. They get caught. You know, the video cameras
are everywhere.
Right.
Just
are
remember
everywhere.
that.
And, you know, one of the crimes that you don't want to have on your record is a crime of theft or dishonesty, because it is extremely frowned upon by employers. So you know, not only is Weaver, if this is true, looking at jail time, 2 to 4 years for the vandalism, which it would be doubtful that I think he would go to jail, but also for a crime of theft, for shoplifting. So, you know, this is just a little microcosm of how a prank crime can have extraordinarily serious consequences.
And these are so silly, and they're not the only silly things that the judicial system has had to deal
Oh,
with.
absolutely. And I think that when we talk about $2,500 to get you to that D felony barrier, there's a lot of other costs involved, and I don't know that this was on anybody's mind when they were hurling Vienna sausage cans, but there's a cost to all of us, to society, whether you want to say it's the cost of a law broken, you know, just disorder, or the actual cost of the taxpayer. Yeah, you know, it's not free. It costs. I mean, this adds to the burden
end
on
up
the law
paying
enforcement
somehow.
system
Well,
and the
there-
judicial system.
Well, there's a finite amount of resources, and you have detectives going to Walmart to track down the sausages that were thrown at the vice mayor's house. I mean, remarkable. But you know, another silly crime, it's not really a prank, that you see all too often, is someone that will key a car or throw something to a car or write a message in the heat of the moment. Yeah, your boyfriend sees girlfriend leave with someone else, bang, 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 whatever. And the amount of damage done
Yeah.
by scratching the paint, I mean, it jumps up the felony chart really, really quick.
Right.
So just remember, some of these crimes that on their face seem, you know, after a few beers, kind of funny, cute, innocuous, can have very serious consequences.
Well, you know, you talked about a boyfriend seeing a girlfriend, the key of the car. We're talking about officers of the law, you know, and that's one thing that really made this story
And
stand
Jeff,
out.
back to your
They're
point.
protecting and serving, and not
Yeah.
sausages.
And it was unclear to me, one of the individuals worked at the jail, but let's
Right.
just say we see officers that get arrested. And what you do is you jeopardize all the cases they've touched, because the first question I would ask is, isn't it true you hurled the beanie weenie at the vice mayor? You know, and you were arrested, and you were this and you were
Right.
that. So basically their credibility is shot. That hampers other cases they have been involved with, arrests. So there is a societal cost when you look at this. But you know, Lori, they should have known better, because they're adults. They should have known better because your mom and dad had told you so. But
And you're an officer of the law.
an officer of the law, and do you think the vice mayor is not going to get just a little
Yeah.
PO'd when Vice Mayor Snodgrass heard the Vienna sausages
At
hitting the
11
window?
o'clock in the evening one night.
Yeah. Well, this does bring up another point. I mean, this is so silly. Could not the district attorney or somebody just say, you know, we don't want to bother with this. This is not, you know, fix the window and let's all just walk away from all this.
Well, I would venture to say that a little restitution here and there, and maybe an apology of sorts, and Vienna Sausage Gate may go quietly into that good night.
Yeah, but what
Campbell
about
County.
the future career-wise for some of the people accused?
I would say it would be very hard to continue in law enforcement because you have to be post-certified, and one of the questions is, have you ever been arrested, convicted, whatever? Although it would be an interesting explanation.
In a job interview, well, there was this one time.
There was one time I had a doctor friend, and when he was in college, they could not get a ride to the Georgia UT football game, and so they got a case of beer and jumped on a train. And unfortunately for them, some bank robbers had been seen getting off the train earlier, and they were arrested for hoboing. And was asked during the medical exams about the charge of hoboing. But they liked the story, the backstory of trying to go to the UT Georgia game. And the doctor was licensed, but you never know.
I'll ask you off camera who that doctor is.
I'll never
All
tell.
right. Oh, my goodness. All right. Hey, thanks for being with us. This is quite a fun topic to talk about with serious, serious consequences.
Yeah.
So we got to level the balance there. Let's talk more about it coming up at 5:30.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks for joining us.